according to a study by Harvard Business Review, okay, this is pretty crazy. The average CEO works 10 hours per weekday, 4 hours per day on weekends, and 2.5 hours per day on vacation. And all that work, and it's crazy because many CEOs never even crack 7 figures in income. All that work, all that sacrifice, all the putting off of amazing things you could be doing because you're working hard and you're not even making 7 figures or beyond in profit per year. Because at the end of the day, you got to be growing your bank account at that level if you're putting that much on the line, that much sacrifice, right? One unlock I want to talk to you guys quickly about, because this is something that really transformed my thinking and how I now build businesses, is back in the day, I really viewed things as right here on the left, okay? I had this kind of brand called Herb, right? Which I still run today. And here was me, underneath that brand. And so I was like this martyr. Whatever Herb needed, I did. And I was kind of behind the scenes. No one really knew me that well. And I just kept on building this brand, built it to 8 figures and over 14 million people, but not that many people outside of the industry knew me. And this was good. We've had some big success. We've crushed it. We've built some amazing software, built amazing community. We've been successful. But the thing is, I had a bigger vision for myself. I remember watching a documentary on HBO called Icahn, Acahn. It was about Carl Icahn, the famous financier who's the 10th richest man in America. And it's interesting, and it hit me when I was watching this doc on Carl Icahn, that he really views himself as this portfolio manager. And he sits atop Icahn Enterprises and then has all of these businesses that he owns. And it struck me, shit, that's how I should view myself. I shouldn't just be this CEO sitting under a company. I should be, Matt, or in my case, I registered a company called Gray Enterprises. And underneath that could be all of my core companies, Herb, Founder OS, and any other things I invest in over the next 5 decades. This changed the second thing here, right? Change number 2, which is that I started to build my personal brand. And it was the single most powerful thing I have ever done in my life. I started this when I was about 31. I'm currently 35. Oh my gosh, I wish I'd started this when I was 21, right? Building a personal brand is the highest leverage asset you can build in your life, bar none. And ever since I've discovered this, and ever since I've started to build this for myself, I've unlocked amazing opportunities. It's opened insane doors. It persuades people before they even, join my companies, whether it's amazing talent or potential customers. And bigger than anything, it's created this level of serendipity, right? It opens amazing relationships. As I travel the world, I meet amazing people no matter where I am. And it's helped 4x my portfolio of online businesses. What I'm not talking about here is becoming an influencer. That's not what this is about, right? This is about being a founder-led brand, which I see as kind of one part CEO and then one part being a creator. And the merger of this, right, allows you to create a media moat, a media source around you, like a personal media company that you own, you control, and you're able at any point to push out your message, right, to people in your audience and drive leads, drive cash flows, customers, opportunities, top talent to you at will. And I believe it's never been a more important time to really have an online presence, right? Everyone is on social media, obviously, these days. And more than ever, people are following people and then they follow a brand, right? When you go and you look at your Instagram, are you following more people or are you following more brands? Let's think about your YouTube, okay? And it's pretty crazy. YouTube adoption recently surpassed Netflix. That just shows you the time we live in, right? Like YouTube is the new TV. Okay, so when you think about who you subscribe to on YouTube, do you subscribe mostly to brands or to people? My belief is that you probably answered people to those last 3 questions. Is that right? Well, If that's the case, right, this just shows you the power of having a founder led brand. Because as much as it's important to build a company, it is also important to build an audience around you because you are the story. You are the person behind it. You're the personality, right? You have values, and those values are how people will perceive not just you, but perceive the thing you're building. And that's a good thing.